is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
Now at 6 on GMI.
And I knew something was wrong because she tried to call me at 8 o'clock at night.
She spends every waking moment remembering Abby and Libby, the Delphi teens killed 2 years ago. Then, a heartbreaking phone call. This morning, she's talking only to RTV6 about her very private battle against cancer.
We have a lot of long-standing businesses on West Washington Street that we've known it's going to affect everyone.
The kinks are still being worked out on the red line, and now the attention turns to the blue line. This morning, how you can make your voice heard, plus
it's one of the most popular spots in Indiana this time of year, but big changes could be coming to Nashville. Why a number of businesses are now up for sale.
And thousands of manufacturing jobs are vacant and waiting to be filled. This morning in Hiring Hoosiers, the local company working to employ the next generation. And it is 6:01, Wednesday, October 16th. Want to thank you for starting your day early with us here on Good Morning Indiana.
And we have a familiar face to RTV6 here with us, but a new face here at Good Morning Indiana. We are welcoming Rafael Sanchez to our team.
I'm excited to be here, a little nervous, but Mrs. Sanchez left me a muffin this morning.
We're good to go.
With a note, so with the muffin and the note, Mrs. Sanchez, we're A-OK. The weather is A-OK, TK, so what's happening?
You know, we had the rain overnight, so the timing was good. You know, it felt, well, most of us were sleeping, not us, but most of you were sleeping. And as you start your morning commute, it's now off towards the east. A live look at Storm Team 6 radar shows the rain is basically off into Ohio. A few spotty showers there right outside of Cincinnati, but that is really just about it. And in fact, the skies have been trying to clear a little bit throughout the overnight hours. I could kind of see the moon through the clouds on my drive into work a few hours ago. If you see some sunshine once the sun comes up a little before 8 o'clock, consider yourself lucky, because the overall trend today with these persistent northwesterly winds will be for the clouds to filter back in. The thing you do not have to worry about, though, from this point forward is any additional precipitation. We should be dry throughout the entire day, but those northwesterly winds, they are going to keep things chilly. We are in the 40s throughout the morning hours. It's about 47 degrees by the noon hour, and honestly, we're not going to warm much more throughout the remainder of the day. We'll talk about that forecast and beyond coming up in just a few minutes, but right now, let's get you updated on the roadways at 6:02 with Lauren.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We told you in the last half hour about a crash involving an Indigo bus on the north side, 29th and Central. That was just a minor issue, should be clear any time. So let's take a look here from our INDOT traffic camera at 465 and Man Road. This is the southwest side of town. You can see traffic is moving along up to speed, both eastbound and westbound. No problems here to slow you down. And now to a story only here on RTV6. A grandmother who's in the public eye opening up about her fight against cancer.
The families of the two Delphi teens killed in 2017 spend every minute keeping their memories front and center.
So when finding that killer is the priority, a cancer fight, it takes a back seat.
I never wanted the focus off of the girls. So I talked to my family and I told them how I felt. And I turned it over to God and I said, you know what? It's up to you. I don't have time to worry about this.
Only on RTV6 this morning, Becky Patty speaks publicly for the first time about her cancer fight, especially to help other families find their way through difficult days.
Parking lot's all cut in. It's cut in where the amphitheater's going to go.
Becky Patty met us on the field, where the memorial park is being built to honor her granddaughter Libby and her classmate Abby. Becky never wants any distractions from finding the girl's killer. So much so that she kept private her cancer fight until now.
You have to think, I got this. You have to think, I'm going to beat this. If you sit down and say, it's got me, the odds are against you that you're going to beat it. So you want people, you want them to all, I've got this.
In December 2018, Becky was diagnosed with endometrial cancer, which often begins in the uterus. Her cancer described as an aggressive form that only 15% get. There has been a surgery, chemotherapy, and radiation.
I was in a win-win situation. In my heart, it didn't hit me as hard as it maybe would have, because I thought, if I don't beat this, I'm going to go be with Libby and wait for my family. And if I do beat this, I get to stay here and look for this killer.
Her husband, Mike, their family, friends, and Faith keep her positive. Losing her hair was tough.
I would be sitting in that chemo chair and I watched women come in that had no hair and no hat, and they wore it proudly. And I met several young girls that just wore it proudly. They weren't ashamed of it. When you look at these people that are fighters, you know that's what they got to do. That they have to fight. Don't let that C word scare you and think that this is over.
Don't let the C word scare you. Becky remains very positive, of course, as some key appointments are coming up for her in the next several days.
Yeah, and what grace and bravery she is demonstrating. Why is she just now choosing to talk about this?
Yeah, she's a brave lady. She wants to encourage both men and women to get annual physicals, check your family history, she says, and she also wants to promote early detection, which is very key. Coming up in our next half hour, the special rocks that they found at the Legacy Park. A brave woman. We'll hear more from her at 6:30.
And as always, if you do know something about Libby and Abby's killer, a reward in exchange for valid information stands at more than $230,000. You can either call in your tip or email. Both the email address and phone number are in this story right now on the RTV6 app.
Time right now is 6:06. Indigo's red line, it's up and running. So now the focus is shifting to the blue line. That route will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland all the way over to the airport. But not everyone is on board. Our own Kelsey Anderson joining us live this morning with more details. Kelsey, good morning.
Good morning. Yeah, so we've talked to people along this blue line route, and they say their main concern is traffic. They say, especially on the West Washington Street, that's their main concern. And tonight here at the Wayne Township Government Building, people are going to have a chance to voice their concerns to Indigo representatives. So the proposed map, according to organizers, the blue line would stretch about 24 miles from Cumberland all the way to the airport, with a bus stop every half mile to a mile apart. Right now, the plan calls for the blue line to have dedicated lanes just like the red line downtown. And Rachel Hawkins has a family business on Washington Street, and she believes if the blue line goes forward with dedicated lanes, it would negatively impact a lot of businesses along Washington Street. Hawkins says after talking to several other business owners and residents along the proposed blue line, she realized not a lot of people knew about the plan, and that's why she has organized tonight's meeting.
So I feel like the more transparency there is, the more people realize how this is going to affect their businesses, affect the residents that live in the area. The more people will get engaged and be willing to help to make these changes.
Now, Hawkins says she's not totally against the blue line as long as it's done right in a way that will benefit both residents of the area, business owners of the area, and riders of the area. She says that right now, if they do the dedicated lanes for the blue line, then it would take Washington Street down to one lane each way. And she says that's just not big enough for the traffic that this road sees. So again, that meeting is tonight here at the Wayne Township Government Building at 5:30. And Indigo representatives will be here to hear concerns of people who are concerned about it. And she also says there is a Facebook page that people can go to get more information on Indigo's blue line. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you. A person walking their dog may have saved a baby's life in Jackson County after finding the infant in a plastic bag. Seymour police say someone found the child Tuesday afternoon along a fence about 20 yards from South Jackson Park Drive. The baby was taken to the hospital for treatment. Authorities are reminding people about safe haven baby boxes. There are several around Indiana, including one at the Seymour Fire Station on Meadowbrook Drive. Babies can be placed in those boxes safely, no questions asked.
The time now is 6:09, and opening statements are set to start today in the case of a northern Indiana woman on trial for killing 3 kids at their bus stop. Alyssa Shepard faces several charges, including reckless homicide. That crash happened on October the 30th of last year in Fulton County, killing a 9-year-old girl and her 6-year-old twin brothers. As Shepard says, she did not know she was driving toward a stopped school bus the morning of that crash. And that tragedy, as you may recall, prompted lawmakers to pass new state laws regarding school bus safety.
It's 6:09. Brown County, it's a popular destination here in Indiana, especially this time of year. Those leaves are changing. It's absolutely beautiful, but major changes could be coming to one prominent town in that area that has some residents worried. A man who owned about 35% of the properties there in downtown Nashville died last year. So those properties, they're now going up on the auction block in just 2 weeks. That includes 25 local shops. Some people are concerned about the new potential development that's changing the spirit of that area. One shop owner shared with us an emotional interaction that she had with one customer.
She said, kids, pay attention today because we're making memories, because when we come back next year, like we always do, it may not be the same. And it touched my heart because we'd never thought of it from the customer standpoint.
Well, the town council has created new rules making it more difficult to tear down those historic buildings. Many of those buildings have been around for more than 50 years. Well, the cost of cancer, it can really take a toll not only on a patient, but also their family.
And so now one company in Indianapolis is trying to alleviate some of that burden for cancer patients across our state. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. Alyssa, this is a brand new process discovered right here in our home city, so fill us in.
That's right, Raphael. It was discovered right here at Circle City Cryogenics. The head of sales and marketing decided to try freezing an item on a whim to find out if it could be helpful to cancer patients. Brian Tomlinson was inspired by his wife, who was diagnosed with breast cancer. He has successfully cryogenically frozen everything from light bulbs to razor blades, the process improving the quality and lifespan of these products. So he decided to try freezing anti-embolism stockings, the kinds that cancer patients are given during chemotherapy. After testing at Purdue proved that it improved the elasticity of the stockings by 50%, he and the owner of Circle City decided they want to freeze these stockings for no charge for every cancer patient in Indiana.
And it was pretty stressful seeing my wife go through this, and how strong she was through it was an inspiration. So just want to give back.
Tomlinson's wife is now cancer-free and no longer needs anti-embolism stockings. But those that do, new ones can cost anywhere from $50 to $200. So getting ones that are long-lasting from cryogenic freezing can save cancer patients some money in the long run. Now, if you or someone you know has cancer and would like to take advantage of this, we have details on our website. You just have to click on this story on how you can send your anti-embolism stockings here to Circle City Cryogenics, and they will freeze them absolutely free. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you. Thousands of manufacturing jobs sit vacant in the Hoosier State. Ahead in Hiring Hoosiers, how one local company is helping to train the next generation of workers. Todd.
And Meredith, the good news is as you walk out the door here this morning, the rain has come to an end. However, you're going to need to have that heavier jacket not only this morning, but throughout the entire day, as temperatures are not going to move much. 40s throughout the morning hours. We'll talk about the rest of the day coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:13. You're watching RTV6.
Welcome back. Our Hiring Hoosiers initiative, it's all about working to connect you to job opportunities and resources.
And we are also looking at ways to address worker shortages in booming industries like manufacturing.
So we know that in our state, manufacturing is king. Indiana has the highest percentage of its workers of any state working in manufacturing.
Yeah, a huge number. Nearly 1 in 5 Hoosiers works in manufacturing, but we're going to be losing between 40 and 45% of that workforce within the next 10 years, a huge chunk. So that's why local businesses like Major Tool and Machine right here in Indianapolis, they're stepping up in a big way to get a new generation involved in this industry.
There's so many open jobs right now, over 45,000 open jobs across the state in manufacturing. We can't get enough people.
Opportunity. That's what a career in manufacturing could mean for you in the Hoosier State.
These are high-tech jobs. They're high-paying jobs.
Mike Griffith is the president of Major Tool and Machine here in Indianapolis, a manufacturer specializing in complicated components for industries like aerospace and defense. And while our cameras can't go back to show you some of the big projects they're working on right now, they are opening their doors to more than 1,000 students for this manufacturing day.
And we're trying to do our best to to show students in school today what manufacturing is all about. Because I don't think manufacturing is really what they believe it is.
This is the third year for this event. Students check out more than 20 different companies and education partners, getting a hands-on look.
What really caught my eyes was the NASA exhibits and all that, because I'm a space geek.
Kareth Perry is a senior at Carmel High School. She tells me she's looking for other opportunities outside of college.
Just right out of high school, there's jobs for you that offer a good career path, and I just think that's a cool opportunity.
And here at Major Tool, the welding training room caught her eye.
Yeah, oh my gosh, I looked at all this welding stuff and I was just like, this is awesome. This is what I want to be at.
Their eyes light up. They get to see things, but to come in and see the technology that is in here, this is world class.
Brian Burton is the president of Indiana Manufacturers Association, advocating for the industry in our state. And he says this day is about much more than a school field trip.
A day like this at Major Tool is absolutely critical for Indiana's future. We have such a need for folks to come into manufacturing. We are the most manufacturing intensive state in the country.
And there's money to be made in manufacturing. Burton tells me the average compensation last year for a manufacturing job was $77,000. The average for all other sectors combined was $44,000 annually.
So if young people or anyone wants an opportunity in manufacturing, it's here. We make things, and our long-term motto has always been, what Indiana makes Indiana, and that's truer today than it ever has been.
So we asked, what's the best advice for students today? And that's to get involved early, attend these types of events, and educate yourself on all the career and educational opportunities available. Start learning those skills early. If you want to learn more about the role manufacturing plays in our state, you can just visit our website, hiringhoosiers.com, and just click on this story.
Time now is 6:19. We had a little bit of rainfall overnight. That is now long gone, but the temps have dropped because of that, Todd.
Yeah, you know, temperatures this morning are in the 40s, and unlike yesterday when we started in the 40s and climbed up into the 70s, that is not going to happen here throughout the day today with a persistent northwesterly wind. And overall, it's kind of a roller coaster ride temperature-wise. Yesterday, as I mentioned, in the 70s. Today, only in the 50s. Tomorrow's in the 50s. By the weekend, though, we are back up into the 70s. Tomorrow, I think there is the potential for some frost in the morning, and then some thunderstorm chances enter the weekend forecast. But let's focus first on what's happening outside right now. Here's Storm Team 6 radar. It's a lot more quiet now than it was just a little while ago. All the showers and storms are now pushed off into Ohio. So from this point forward, we will be dry throughout the day. And the skies are trying to clear initially here this morning. And as the sun comes up a little before 8 o'clock, it's not out of the question we could have a little bit of sunshine out there. But the overall trend here throughout the day today with this persistent northwesterly wind will be to bring the clouds back into the picture. So I do think it's a mostly cloudy day with some peaks of sunshine here and there. These showers, though, they should stay to our north. That is the good news. But these northwesterly winds not only will keep the clouds in place this afternoon, but it will also prevent us from warming much at all. Here's a live look outside right now, and you can see a little bit of cloud cover with some clear skies in downtown Indianapolis during the 6 o'clock hour. 43 degrees in Kokomo, 46 in Bloomington, and 45 is the current temperature in Indianapolis, and the cooler air continues to work its way in. So all these temperatures that you see right here, they will continue to go down another couple degrees this morning, and then they'll just slowly start to climb throughout the course of the day. And here's how it breaks down for you hour by hour temperature wise. Mid 40s here throughout the morning hours, and then really all we can do is about 51 degrees later on this afternoon. But one, with the cloud cover, and two, that northwesterly wind, that 51 is going to feel more like it's in the mid 40s throughout the entire day. So that's why you need to have the jacket handy. Here's the frost potential for tomorrow. Everybody going back down into the mid to upper 30s for us. But throughout the day tomorrow, as the day wears on, we see more and more in the way of sunshine. That gets our temperatures up into the upper 50s tomorrow. And then looking ahead, Friday, we're up into the low 60s as we work our way into the weekend. Saturday, we're back to 71 degrees with a mixture of sun and clouds. Then on Sunday, 72 degrees. And Sunday's the day we'll enter a few spotty showers to maybe a couple thunderstorms. But I do think at this point, and it may change, it's later in the day on Sunday, I do think there's a good amount of sunshine to start the day, and then better rain chances as we enter next week on Monday and Tuesday.
Dodge Jeep Ram.
The only name you need to know.
All right, Ross, this is the time of the show where we're going to tune you into what's hot, what's popular, what all the kids are talking about.
Like you guys and Todd Clawson? I mean, I figured you guys were...
Sure.
Sure, if you want to call us the kids.
Here's one for you guys that people are talking about today. A famous piece of artwork. It was stolen in broad daylight from a San Francisco art gallery. It took 32 seconds for this crook to walk out with a $20,000 Salvador Dali etching in his right hand. This is all part of a larger collection of the Spanish surrealist work at the gallery.
All right, this is Lauren's favorite story of the morning. It's not even Halloween yet, but the White House is already planning for Christmas. One of its Christmas trees will come from Pennsylvania. The 16-year-old Douglas fir is more than 22 feet tall. The tree will be harvested in November and delivered to the White House to be displayed in the Blue Room.
Okay.
Never too early.
I want to take you guys on a road trip, okay? First day, but a road trip. These spacesuits will be the rage in outer space. NASA unveiled the new gear, which will be worn by the Artemis astronauts. The suits improve on the technology used in the Apollo suits, as well as those currently used by astronauts on the International Space Station. It's Gucci of space. They will also accommodate more sizes and provide more comfort and mobility. How about some Versace? Hey.
Looks like it would give me a backache.
Right? Well, here's a good news story. 3 off-duty NYPD officers, they're being called heroes today after saving a man's life at a bowling alley. One officer says he noticed a man fall to his knees a few lanes away. Well, the 65-year-old man suffered from a heart attack, so the cops, they sprang into action and they were able to revive him. Thanks to the officers' quick action, that man is expected to make a full recovery.
Unfortunately, we all know it, and apparently baseball fans love it. It's also Washington Nationals players Gerardo Perros.
Very good.
Oh, God, now you got me second-guessing myself, Rob. Gerardo Perros' walk-up song, and as you can see, the crowd really got into it. The song has become the Nationals' unofficial anthem all season after Parra used it in honor of his kids. The Nationals are headed to the World Series for the first time in 86 years. Good luck.
Gerardo Parra, there you go, baby.
There you go.
What color are these sneakers, or you may call them tennis shoes at Indiana? The singer Lizzo posted, I see gray and teal, but my whole team sees pink and white.
Oh, no.
Where?
Not again.
Where? Not again.
No.
The debate about the color of these shoes has been going on since they were first posted online 2 years ago in 2017. That's gray and teal. What are you thinking?
Yeah.
You might remember the debate about the dress. Remember that one? Experts say these illusions boil down to our genes and how those impact our perceptions of light and color. So, what do you think
Gray
you
and
see?
teal.
I see gray and teal.
Yeah.
I see gray and teal.
It's settled.
Good.
It's not a debate anymore.
I see Todd Clawson
Thank
with a good
goodness.
forecast.
You see gray and teal, too?
Gray and teal.
That means you get to stick around and stay.
Yeah.
Maybe they had those like pink filtered sunglasses on when they looked at them or something. See pink, because I didn't see anything in there. Sunglasses probably not the #1 thing you need here throughout the day today, as we'll see skies that are going to be mostly cloudy. I think the #1 thing you need is the jacket, because it's cool throughout the entire day today, as we'll see temperatures climb up to right around 50 degrees by the noon hour. With gusty winds, they just stay right around 51 for your afternoon high. So there's not a lot in the temperature movement department here throughout the day today. And those winds are actually going to make it feel even a little bit cooler than that. Plan on mid-40s when you factor in the wind chill with skies that'll be mostly cloudy. The time now, 6:28. Stay with Good Morning Indiana. We'll be back here in just a few minutes.
$49 per month. This is Good Morning Indiana, working for you.
While building a legacy park, the fight against cancer that one family did not expect. I'm Rafael Sanchez. That story next on RTV6.
I'm Kelsey Anderson, and as Indy goes, Red Line is up and running. They're getting ready for their next project, the Blue Line, but it doesn't come without concern from residents and business owners along Washington Street. I'll have the details coming up.
And a new development on the east side, giving residents and local business owners hope for growth in that area. We're going to show you the plans and the works for that vacant Angie's List building. It is 6:31 here, Wednesday, October 16th. Thanks for tuning in to Good Morning Indiana.
And you might notice we have a new addition to our desk, a familiar face here at RTV6, Rafael Sanchez, but a new face to the GMI team. And we've had a lot of people asking, Well, what does that mean? Who's leaving? No one's leaving.
Plenty of room.
We're just making room here at the desk for everyone.
Right, we're just welcoming you to Team No Sleep over here.
Yes, exactly.
I'm a happy member. I wear it proudly.
Yeah, no one has more energy than this guy, so it's a perfect fit. We want to hand things over to you, though, Todd, because there's a bit of a change in the forecast today.
Yeah, you know, it's been kind of a wacky week. We started off the week with sunshine, 60s. Yesterday we got into the 70s. Everybody's feeling great, and then that cold front came through this morning, and that is ushering in a chilly day for us here across the area. So we had some rain overnight. That has pushed off towards the east, and the skies are trying to clear a little bit here this morning. So I checked the sunglasses off as something you need to grab before you go, but it's probably only a brief window that you really need them here this morning before the clouds ultimately win out. But I do think you need the jacket from start to finish here throughout the day today. So Storm Team 6 radar, a lot more quiet than it was just a couple hours ago. All the rain has now made its way off into Ohio. And here are those clearing skies that I was talking about. But with the persistent northwesterly winds, that'll bring the clouds back in, and it will prevent our temperatures from really warming much at all here throughout the day today. We're going to stay in the 40s throughout the entire morning hours, about 46 degrees by 11 a.m. And honestly, we don't really warm much more from there. We'll talk about the rest of the day and beyond coming up in just a few minutes.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Here's a live look right now at your commute on this Wednesday morning through the downtown area, I-65 and I-70 at the North Split. Now, the good news on the interstates, everything is moving along up to speed. No crashes to slow you down, but just a little north of here, we do have an Indigo bus crash cleanup. That one's at 29th and Central. We're told from police no one there was injured.
The time now is 6:33, and new this morning and only on RTV6, there is progress in the construction of the memorial park to honor 2 Delphi teenage girls. This is the site of the Legacy Park in honor of Abby Williams and Libby German in Delphi. Police continue to seek the man who killed them in February of 2017. The community and several local companies have played a key role in clearing this land that will host an amphitheater to host musical performances and 3 softball, baseball diamonds, and plenty of green space for families to enjoy.
It's not just for us. We hope that this will be a healing park. That's our goal.
When you come here and you visit, what does it mean for you?
It means Libby will be remembered. Libby and Abby will be remembered. This is it. This is their legacy. And long after we're gone, this will be here. And as long as this is here, their names are here, their story will be remembered. The tragedy, people will see that at least some good come out of it. That's all we can hope, is that some good comes out of it.
Well, I think we're seeing it.
And we're seeing it.
We're seeing it.
We're seeing it.
Now don't hit me, because if it's too big, I'll go get the backhoe.
Holy cow. 4 of those machines were brought in to clear the land. Family, friends, even TV reporters were brought in, of course, to help remove big rocks that litter that property. But I want you to check this out. This is what Abby's grandmother, Diane Erskine, unearthed. These rocks. She found rocks shaped like hearts in that field. In fact, she found 2 of them, as you can see. The families say that this is a clear example that this project, which is embraced by love, is meant to be. As you can see, those rocks are heart-shaped. They were found deep inside that field. Since I left Delphi a couple of weeks ago, the field has been seeded and strawed with the goal of hosting some softball games next year. Now, to make a donation to this park project, you can write a check to the Carroll County Community Foundation. Their address is P.O. Box 538, Delphi, zip code 46923.
Now that Indigo's Red Line is up and running, the focus is now shifting to the Blue Line, Indigo's next big project that they say will provide rapid transit along Washington Street between Cumberland and the airport.
But there are some people who aren't in favor of adding another bus route to the city's already busy streets. And our own Kelsey Anderson is joining us live this morning. She's in Wayne Township with more on what these business owners are saying, Kelsey, and why they're unhappy about this project.
Yes, good morning. So the main concern here is the traffic along West Washington Street. They think if the blue line does come here and they have dedicated lanes for that bus, it's going to really impact traffic and really impact people wanting to avoid Washington Street because it's just going to be so congested. So the proposed map of the blue line shows the route would be 24 miles long from Cumberland to the airport with a stop every half mile to a mile apart. Right now, the plan calls for the blue line to have dedicated lanes just like the red line does downtown. So here on Washington Street, that would reduce drivers to just one lane each way, something Rachel Hawkins, a business owner along the route, says will cause issues. Hawkins says Washington Street is already a pretty busy road, but she says it's even worse when there's an accident on I-70 and traffic is redirected here to Washington Street. She tells us she's not totally against the blue line. She just wants to make sure it's done in a way that will benefit riders and businesses along the way.
I certainly feel like this is something that could be beneficial if it's implemented correctly. According to their analysis report, it should be done with shared lanes, and they aren't going to have the increase in ridership to warrant having dedicated lanes. But I feel like if these changes aren't made, then I'm totally against the project going through.
Hawkins says when talking to other businesses in the area, she realized a lot of people were in the dark about what exactly Indigo is planning, and that's why she planned a meeting to help educate others and to let Indigo reps hear their concerns. So that meeting tonight is here at the Washington Township Government Building at 5:30. And again, it's just a chance for her, she feels, to educate people around this area that it is going to be dedicated lanes. That's what their plan is right now. And then she wants to try to get Indigo to change their plan to make it shared lanes. That way the Indigo buses are just sharing the lanes with drivers. That way it can remain 2 lanes each way on each side of the road. For now, I'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Kelsey, thank you so much. The time now is 6:39. More local news here on GMI. The case of that Greenfield police officer accused of excessive force is now in the hands of the Hancock County Prosecutor's Office. The department says the officer has been on paid administrative leave since August the 26th. The incident allegedly happened during an arrest. No other details have been released in this case. Greenfield police say they asked state police to investigate, and the findings have been now forwarded to the prosecutor's office.
A jury is seated and testimony is expected to begin today in the case of the woman on trial for killing 3 kids at their bus stop. Alicia Shepard faces several charges, including reckless homicide. The crash happened almost 1 year ago in Fulton County, killing a 9-year-old girl and her 6-year-old twin brothers. Shepard said she did not know she was driving toward a stopped school bus the morning of the crash. The tragedy prompted lawmakers to pass a new state law regarding school bus safety.
So this morning, there's new hope that vacant East Side building once housed the Angie's List properties. It'll be occupied once again.
And so change is in the air, definitely. Since the beginning of the fall semester, the Ball State College of Architecture and Planning has been using one of the main buildings.
That location has been vacant for more than 2 years. The move by Ball State is giving business owners in that part of the city hope that more people will also invest in these buildings.
With these buildings getting occupied once again, hoping for more foot traffic, people coming here after work.
With the buildings where they are and as beautiful as they are, it'd be fun to actually go inside and drink a beer or buy something.
Neighbors say any new businesses that come to the east side would be a win for that neighborhood.
It is a small gesture that could make a major difference for cancer patients. Just ahead, the story of a business working to help those patients with their physical and financial pain. Todd.
And Meredith, one thing you'll notice throughout the day today is going to be a pretty gusty wind, as wind speeds will be up right around 25 miles per hour. Not enough to cause damage, but enough to keep the temperatures on the chilly side and become an inconvenience. We'll talk about what these winds mean for your forecast for the rest of today, and we'll look also ahead to a warmer weekend coming up when Good Morning Indiana continues. The time now is 6:41. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Good Morning Indiana. The time right now is 6:43 on your Wednesday, and here's a live look at your morning drive as you're heading out the door to work or school downtown here. I-65 at Fletcher Avenue. You can see traffic is traveling smoothly between the north and south splits. No issues to slow you down. Okay, so we all know battling cancer, it can be costly for those who are fighting the disease as well as their families.
So one business here in Indianapolis is working to cut some of those costs and give relief to those patients at the very same time.
The business is Circle City Cryogenics. Cryogenics, and they are freezing specific items to help cancer patients. Our Alyssa Donovan is live this morning. Alyssa, explain to us how all of this works.
So it's very interesting, Meredith, and this really all started with the head of sales and marketing here at Circle City Cryogenics trying to freeze an item completely on a whim. He was hopeful that doing that would help those fighting cancer.
I've cryoed about everything you can think of, between light bulbs, razor blades, gun barrels.
The process of cryogenically freezing items has proved to add longevity, precision, and quality. So when Brian Tomlinson's wife was diagnosed with breast cancer, he wanted to find a way for this process to help her and other patients fighting for their lives. And he landed on these anti-embolism stockings. Cancer patients undergoing chemotherapy are given 2 pairs after their first treatment, but they usually have to buy more on their own dime.
Because they wear out quickly, they snag and run.
And at $50 to $200 a pop, the cost can add up.
I bought some of the nylons, cut them in half, marked them A and B. I froze one at 300 degrees below zero. The others I did not.
Then he handed them off for testing at Purdue University. The results showed the cryogenically frozen nylons had a 50% improvement in elasticity and suggests the change in durability to be as high as 200 to 300%.
I got with Tom Dunn, the owner of Circle City, told him what I was wanting to do, if we could do this for every cancer patient in the state of Indiana for free, and he said yes.
Cancer patients can send in their anti-embolism stockings and have them cryogenically frozen for no charge. Today, his wife no longer needs these because she is cancer-free.
Her hair's back, it's curly, her attitude is incredible. She's doing great. Well, seeing my wife go through this and how strong she was through it was an inspiration.
An inspiration that led Tomlinson to a discovery that will help cancer patients across the state. And what Tomlinson is doing is catching on. A cryogenics facility in Ohio recently contacted him because they are going to start doing it in their state for all cancer patients. Now, if you have cancer or you know someone that is fighting cancer right now and would like to get these anti-embolism stockings cryogenically frozen, we have details on our website, RTV6.com, on how to do that. Reporting live, Alyssa Donovan, RTV6.
Alyssa, thank you so much for bringing us that life-changing story this morning. Now to a bizarre story out of the Netherlands. Dutch police discovered a family of 7 living in a farmhouse basement and waiting for the world to end. Local news outlet RTV, no relation to us, says a 58-year-old man was living with 6 siblings in the basement of his house, and they had been for years. They were discovered after one member of the family escaped, showed up in a nearby pub and ordered 5 beers and drank them all. I guess what else would you do? He then told the bartender he needed help, and he told a police officer the family had been living in isolation, waiting for the end of time. Police are now questioning those family members.
Wow.
Oh my goodness.
Okay, well the time now is 6:47. All is good as we do a good sweep of the radar. Looking good out there. Todd Clausen, it's all looking great behind you, so hey.
Yeah.
Good morning.
You know, we timed it out well. We needed a little rain. We didn't get a whole lot overnight, but the timing was perfect in the sense that it came through during the overnight hours. Now that you're starting off your Wednesday morning commute, as Raphael mentioned, it's a clean sweep of the radar here. All the rain has made its way out of Indiana. It's off into Ohio now, and the skies are actually starting to clear a little bit across the area, and I'm hopeful for a little bit of sunshine to start our day once it comes up a little before 8 o'clock, but I am not hopeful for the sunshine to stick around, unfortunately, for a good chunk of the day, because as we expand out, it shows the big picture. The area of low pressure itself is to the north. Here's the cold front with the rain, which is through. The problem is we have counterclockwise rotation around an area of low pressure, and that is going to keep our winds persistent today and gusty out of the northwest, and that's a cooler wind direction. That's going to prevent us from warming, and all these clouds are going to continue to pinwheel back here through central Indiana. So the best chance of seeing any sunshine will be this morning, and then as we slowly start to warm things up, the clouds are going to fill back in for a mostly cloudy sky with just a peak or two of sun here or there. Now, this wind speed has increased throughout the morning hours. It was a little calmer just a couple hours ago. Now, sustained at 18 miles per hour, gusting into the 25 mile per hour range. And again, it's that chilly wind direction out of the west-northwest. And you look back to the northwest and you see the temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. That's what's going to be heading our way throughout the day today. So we've already hit our high for the day today. That was shortly after midnight, and then we'll rebound here back up into the 50s later on this afternoon. But a pair of 4s in Greencastle and Martinsville, and Tipton 45, in Peru 42 is the current temperature right now over in the Richmond area. Our featured dog of the day today is a Zilly from Zionsville, and he's having a stare down right now with the squirrel or whenever that was when Richard sent the picture in. But I don't know. I think the squirrel might be a little faster than Zilly, but Zilly has the size, so I don't know who's going to win there. But I'm sure if you live in Zionsville, you've probably seen Zilly at some point there walking through the neighborhood. So thanks to Richard for sending that in. He says he always watches RTV6. He's a FedEx carrier and depends on us every day. So that's great to hear. Green pause from start to finish. Mostly cloudy skies today, but you notice that temperatures trend only getting up to right around 50 degrees for your afternoon high. So there's not a whole lot of warming that takes place throughout the day today. And then overnight tonight, 34 to 39. So it's chilly tomorrow morning, maybe even a little bit of patchy frost. But then throughout the day tomorrow, we work the sunshine in, get the temperatures back into the upper 50s. And then by Friday, we're at 62 degrees with mostly sunny skies. Saturday, we're up to 71 degrees with partly cloudy skies. So today's the coolest day in our 7-day planning forecast. Then we have warm up just in time for the weekend. Could be a few spotty showers on Saturday, something we'll keep an eye on for you, but definitely not a washout. The better rain chances will enter this forecast, Lauren, as we head into next week on Monday and Tuesday.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. We are keeping a close eye on a traffic alert for drivers on the northeast side and north side of town. You can see some delays here on 465. This is near East 82nd Street on the northeast side. What's happening here is we actually have a crash blocking one shoulder, the right shoulder of westbound I-465 just before Keystone Avenue on the north side. There is a vehicle in the ditch off the interstate that's creating some stop and go conditions. Delays are up to about 10 minutes in that area, so give yourself some extra time. Here at 6:50, okay, Raphael, when you pay to see money to see a star on stage, you expect to see that person, right? Not someone else dressed up like him.
I want to see the real deal.
Not hard to ask.
But that's what's happening with one child star these days. Consumer reporter John Mattery shows why some parents are demanding refunds so you don't waste your money.
One of the hottest stars for preschoolers these days is a character called Blippi, with millions of YouTube subscribers. He's so popular, he's now going on tour. But then why are so many parents so angry? Imagine buying tickets to a Cher concert, then finding out it's a Cher impersonator. So much to learn about. That's how hundreds of parents feel. Blippi! Hey, it's me, Blippi. After buying tickets to see the preschool YouTube sensation Blippi, Michael Wolkoff was excited to buy tickets for his 3-year-old until he texted his wife.
And she sent me a text back saying, I heard that it's not even really him.
Michael had almost paid extra for a meet and greet.
You know, you could pay an extra $50 or $55 per person to go meet Blippi, which it's not even him.
And from the Doesn't That Stink file, angry parents now demanding refunds, according to BuzzFeed, since they thought they were seeing the real actor, Stephen John.
And it's like, no, I'm not paying to meet, some guy dressed up as Blippi. I can dress up as Blippi. I'm not going to look anything like him.
Promoters say, we thought we made the announcement abundantly clear Stephen would not be going on tour. But if you showed up unaware, you'd say, doesn't that stink? So when a kid's entertainer comes to town, check to see if it's the real entertainer. So if you bought tickets thinking you were seeing the real Blippi, you should be able to get a refund. And that way you don't waste your money. I'm John Mattery. Good morning, Indiana.
John, thank you. For more money-saving tips and ideas, you can visit the money section of our website, theindychannel.com.
Well, they say robots will eventually take over, right? Coming up, a new type of robot might eventually make that morning beverage that you need to get going every day. It's 6:52. We'll be right back.
Visit the Hiring Hoosiers job board.
Welcome back. We are monitoring some slowdowns here to the east. Eastbound lanes of I-70 stop and go. As you can see, this is near State Road 9. All due to road construction closing one right lane. Give yourself extra time. Slowdowns are about 5 to 10 minutes at this hour.
Most people can't get along in the morning without their coffee, with the exception of Lauren. And there is a new way to get that cup of joe. But this one might give pause to some baristas.
So there's been a lot of talk about how robots and other forms of automation will take over a lot of these jobs. And now there's a robot that its maker says can make you a cup of coffee exactly, the way you want it.
Yeah, its name is Briggo. Check this out. It's a contraption that grinds the coffee fresh for you after you place your order at a kiosk using a smartphone app. It brews your joe, puts the cap on your cup, and hey, you're ready to go. If coffee isn't your thing, it'll also make you a cup of tea or hot cocoa. Whole Foods has installed one of these Briggo machines at one of its stores in Houston, and it could soon be coming to other locations. I don't know, guys. What do you think?
I think I need a robot to do my hair and makeup in the morning.
Yeah, let's talk about things that we really need.
Yeah, before I need one to make my coffee. I got a Keurig for that.
I don't know. We're not much of coffee drinkers on this crew, though.
I have a cup in the morning.
A little bit?
Yeah.
Right,
Crystal Light with caffeine.
Yeah.
I like
Diet
orange
Coke.
juice.
Diet Coke guy
He's got
in the
his
morning.
vending machine robot all set up for him.
That's right. All right, as you walk out the door here this morning, you're going to need a jacket, and you'll need that jacket all day long, as temperatures aren't really going to warm much at all throughout the day today, with mostly cloudy skies, and there'll be a gusty wind at times throughout the day today. So it's definitely the cooler day of the week. 57 tomorrow, but back into the 70s by the weekend.
All right, Todd, thanks so much. Raphael, thanks for joining the team, and thank you for joining us. We're back in 25 minutes and all throughout Good Morning America.
All your news throughout the day is on the RTV6 app. We hope you have a wonderful Wednesday.
I'll come back tomorrow. Have a good day, everybody.